Hey guys, with sports betting season in full force with the NFL kicking off this week, you need a sports book with integrity and longevity like BetUS. You may already know this, but BetUS have been pioneers in the sportsbook industry for almost 3 decades, thriving and paying their loyal customer base. And they have loads of bonuses. Join now at betus.com today, and you can receive a 125% sign-up bonus by using our bonus code Chicago125. They have re-up and referral bonuses also, but BetUS is known as America's favorite sportsbook for a lot of reasons. BetUS has all your NFL games with team and player props and loads of NFL futures and odds. You can bet on college football games, PGA golf, UFC matches, and more. They have every bet type imaginable, and the Sharp Bet US mobile platform is easy with full betting options. So follow my lead and get your phone, online, and social sports betting partner with integrity and longevity like I did. Cash in on your 125% sign-up bonus at betus.com with our code Chicago125. BetUS. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS. Welcome back, Bears fans, to another episode of the Chicago Audible, and boy, do we have quite the show in store for you. I'm proud of every episode that we put out, but some are just more special than others, and this episode certainly qualifies. I'm yours, Wildowit, and I am so glad that you decided to join us today. You made the right choice. I'm sitting alongside both of my co-hosts, Nicholas Moriano and Mason West, and in just a moment, we're going to be sharing an exclusive interview with one of the best to ever put on a Chicago Bears uniform. The one, the only, Windy City Flyer, Mr. Ridiculous himself, Devin Hester. Now, guys, I'm excited about this as ever. But before Devin officially hops on, is there anything that you want to preface this show with? I know that this interview, as I told Devin during the interview, made 3 kids' lifelong dreams come true. So, Nick, how about you? Anything you want to kind of kick the show off with?
Yeah, I mean, Devin Hester played such a big influence on my life and why I got into football. I used to wear his jersey just in middle school and go through the hallways, the crowded hallways, and do like the moves that you would see Hester do on the football field. And, you know, when he scored in flag football, everyone's high stepping into the end zone. So it's awesome. This is my second time meeting him. And, you know, I just, again, this is, like you said, a dream come true for all 3 of us. Devin Hester is the best to ever do it. And now we get to talk to him.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm so excited. Mason, how about you?
I think it's funny. Like, I haven't stopped smiling this whole time. I think a lot of times you see me on this podcast and I'm pretty serious looking and everything like that. Like, my mouth hurts just from smiling the whole time. Like, it just was so cool. It's something that I never thought would be able to happen. And to be able to, talk to an individual that has, like you guys have said, such a big impact, right? And someone who was the man for a while here in Chicago. And man, to just say how fun it is, how cool it is, there's not enough words.
There really isn't. Yeah, I remember playing pickup games and doing the little ball flip, like the little one that Devin would do as well. All the taunting. He just had so much fun when he played the game. So in this interview with Devin Hester, we get to talk to him about his career, his Hall of Fame chances, and why he believes he deserves a bust in Canton. The upcoming 2021 Chicago Bears season, including his thoughts on when the Bears should start Justin Fields. So stay around for that and a whole lot more. So guys, let's not waste another moment. Here is our exclusive interview with Bears legend, Devin Hester. Devin, thank you so much for taking the time here to hop on our show. We're so excited to have you on and really look forward to getting to know you just a little bit and talking to you here on the show. And I know the NFL season, it kicks off tomorrow. Tonight you have a couple of fantasy drafts, but I'm just curious, this time of year, do you start feeling a little nostalgic and still want to suit up a bit?
I think my playing days are pretty much, I would say it's pretty much burnt out. I felt like I did all I could do. I left it all on the field. No regrets. Um, Very happy with my career. A lot of guys walk away from the game and, was forced out. I walked away from the game. So when you run across a player that says, I was burnt out, I was ready to walk away from the game, then normally they feel they accomplished a lot.
Now, Devin, obviously you're one of, if not, sorry, you are the greatest returner of all time. Most punt return touchdowns ever with 14. Your 20 total touchdown returns is another NFL record. I don't want to dive into all the stats. I've seen your returns countless of times. Being on the show, by the way, you're making 3 childhood dreams come true. We all grew up watching you. So I just want to know from your words, what do you believe made you such a special returner? I know you have all the speed in the world, but was it the vision, the mentality? What made you so special, man?
I think it was the vision, and most definitely I would say it was the heart that I felt I had. Playing kickoff and punt return is probably one of the most dangerous positions that you can play in football. Football running back wise, you can avoid contact. You can brace a hit majority of the time. Wide receiver, you can read the coverage and know where guys are and be able to avoid hits. But I would say when it comes down to kickoff and punt return, going through the hole where you don't see the guy, 4 or 5 yards away from you, and he could be running 21, 22 miles per hour and get up on you that quick. You got to have a lot of heart to trust in your teammates after, probably getting knocked out the first time doing it, and having the brave and the courage to do it again and hit the hole the same way you did the first time. That, and as well as I would say the agility that I had, the quickness to be able to make guys miss. Another key asset that I think I was blessed with was to see blocks happen before they even was made. Body language of my blocker going to block a guy that's trying to make the tackle. I was able to read the angles of that person where I know if I continue to set him up one way, they will make the hole even bigger. Small things like that a lot of guys don't probably understand. If they haven't really played the game, I was able to get an opportunity to have kickoff and punt returns. Those are the small things that I think made me so unique.
Yeah, and Devin, while you were with the Bears, Dave Toub was your special teams coordinator for 7 of your 8 years in Chicago. How impactful was Toub on your career and what you're able to do there?
To be honest, I was blessed to have the best special team coach in the National Football League. The things that Coach Toll did, just made it so much easier for me to just go out and use my talent and not have to do a lot of thinking. The film breaking that he did was unbelievable, where he broke it down to the tier of the punter, the age the punter was, how many years he played in the league, how many kids he had. It was broken down, to the point where it's, hey, Devin, this is the cheat book for you. Just go out and use your talent, use your speed, and make things happen.
Did you have a favorite team to play against, whether it was because of location or you just felt like you had their number? And then did you have like a least favorite? Maybe, there was a special teams coordinator that kind of figured you out a little bit. I mean, no one really could, but let's be real.
My favorite team to play against was Minnesota Vikings. It was just seeing like their special team. I was always able to get a return on those guys for some reason. I just don't know why. I don't know if it comes from the guys they drafted to the coaching or whatever it may be, or just playing inside the Minnesota Dome. I always felt like every year had a kickoff or punt return against those guys.
I felt that way too. I always knew I can count you in on one of those each and every year, Devin. Out of all those returns that you had, is there one that you remember the most vividly, personally? Just a quick story for you. I was at the Bears-Rams Monday night game, your rookie season, when you took off those 2 kick return touchdowns. That whole stadium was rocking. It was a away game, but it felt like a home game for the Bears. So that's one that I remember. But which one is it for you out of all the ones that you had here in your time in Chicago?
I would say it had to be my rookie year against Arizona Cardinals. I always bring that one up whenever I get asked that question. And I think that return there, the way the game was played, I would say the reason why I called that return is my best memorable moment because of the situation the game was in. We was down 20-something points going into halftime. And that game right there really showed our strength of the team, which was defense and special team. and for the defense to go out there and, you know, I think they had 4 or 5 turnovers in the second half, and then for the special team to come out and you know, seal it with that punt return. That's why I say that punt return, because I just like the way it was played out.
That's a game that I think all three of us, including yourself, Devin, will always remember. I was going to school the next morning. A lot of my friends, also Bears fans, didn't believe me when I told them that you guys came back to win that game. This is before social media, before all that news broke on the internet. Like, you had to go old school, either radio or newspaper then, and no one believed me that you guys won that game. And the next day I had to bring a newspaper, and like, oh wow, Will, you weren't kidding. And that was one of those nights I stayed up a little too late, but it was definitely well worth it.
I hope it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Devin, you're eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame for that 2022 class. I know everyone here on the show, we believe that you deserve a spot down in Canton, but I want to know, why do you believe you're a Hall of Famer, and what would it mean to you to go first ballot?
I would say for me, playing in the National Football League, if you get drafted, and when you do get drafted, for the players that's coming in and the players that's hoping to make it to the league, you pretty much set your goals to have in the NFL once you get there. You know, of course, everybody wants to win a Super Bowl. Everybody wants to make it to the Pro Bowl, you know, and at the end of the day, putting a cherry on top of the cake is to make the Hall of Fame. Those are the 3 goals I would say anybody that comes in the NFL with the right mind and their goals, making the Hall of Fame is the cherry on top. I do feel like I do deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Not only what I did to the return game, but overall picture of the game, the way I changed ball field, you know what I mean, the way I changed field possessions, the things that I did on the field that has never have ever been done before, especially my rookie year, and then to come back and do the same exact thing, but even better my second year, to prove a point that the first year wasn't a fluke. And felt like I could have did it, you know, year after year, but the fear that our return game struck into the opponents, we created a new rule, you know, which should be called the Devin Hester rule, where we allowed the guys to move the tee up, you know, to kick all touchbacks, and then teams would be okay with putting our offense on the 50-yard line because they were kicking it out of bounds. Like, these are some of the things that the NFL has never witnessed, where one player can strike fear in the opponent, where they can say, you know what, we relegate the offense and put them on the 50-yard line by kicking the ball out of bounds. So you have punters that stats was dropping every time they played against the Chicago Bears because they couldn't kick their 40 and 50-yard punts. They had to kick it 20, 30 yards out of bounds. You know, so when you come across a player that's changing the whole aspect of special team or return game, then that guy is not only a kickoff and punt return, but he's one of the X factors when you prepare for that game. You know, we had plenty of times where the key focal point of opponents beating the Chicago Bears was not to kick the ball to Devin Hester. And when you have a team that main focus point is on the returner, you know, that right there speaks highly of what that team is doing and what that player is capable of doing.
Without a doubt. I know us here as a show, we went to Canton to help celebrate your teammate Brian Urlacher and his enshrinement, and we already plan on doing the same once you get inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Nick, how about you? Any questions for Devin and the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, have you already started planning what you're going to say in your Hall of Fame speech there, Devin? Has that process already started for you? Have you even thought about it right now?
Right now I'm coming up with the list. So the list of people that that was dear to me and that was very important in my life. My main focus point is to get those guys there right now. That's my number one goal is, like I say, everybody that's very important to me that helped me through this journey and allowed me to be successful and to be in the place that I'm in right now. I'm coming up with the list of those guys.
Gotcha. So, Devin, I work at a high school as an English tutor. So, if you ever need help game planning with speeches, I do it all the time. Just want to
Well,
put that out
I'm gonna take you up on that one because I do need help.
Hey, Devin, I can't help but notice you got a Peloton in the background there. Who's your favorite
Uh-huh.
instructor? Mine's Alex Toussaint.
Alex,
Right?
Alex.
He gets me pumped, right?
Yeah, I like Alex, and I like the lady. What's her name? She just got married. I think her name was Alex too.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her last name.
Yeah, her name is Alex too. She's one of the top ones that I like her music, and I just like to work out a little bit. So she do the little dumbbell workout and the stretches and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So this is my way of working out since COVID really, really took a hit on, everything. And, me being scared to go to the gym and then my wife concerned about the kids and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and
Peloton
Devin,
is the way to
actually,
work
you
out now.
bring up your kid there. What's it just been like coaching your son Dre and just seeing him continue to grow as a football player? Because I've read stories about him, Devin, and he's football crazy, like football crazy. So, what has that been like, just being able to coach him?
It's been fun, man. It's been fun, but at the same time, it's been a little headache. Um, we're so much alike. So of course, when you have two of the same kind in one room, you're gonna eventually bump heads. And a guy like Dre, where my little one like Dre, he's a special guy, and it's hard for me and it's hard for him, because we play in a very competitive league, and I think my biggest concern is not trying to have him feel like he have a lot to prove because he's my son. He does get a lot of pressure from that. As his expectation is high. Amongst his peers, they all feel like, oh, that's Devin Hester's son. He's cheating and he's doing this, he's doing that. But at the end of the day, he's a child. I never force him to play football. I have an older son that don't even like football, um, but he's the one that's always up under me. So as a child, he's always been into football, and now I've been coaching him for since he was 3 years old, and it's been very exciting. And I do feel like once I retired from football, I lost the joy from the game because I was just burnt out from it. And the moment he really started playing football is when I found that passion that I once had for football by watching him do it.
That's really tremendous. Burnout is such a real thing, and I'm glad that you found some joy with your son getting into the game, a game that made you everything that you are to us here on this show. Looking at this Bears season that does kick off here in a few days, I'm just curious your thoughts on the team that they have this year, and of course, I know our listeners and Bears fans want to know your take on Justin Fields. And do you think they should play him sooner rather than later?
I think, me honestly, personally, I think they should open up the season with him. I
Mm.
think the city of Chicago wants that. If you go to all the preseason games, um, is it unfair to some of the backup quarterbacks and the starting quarterbacks? Uh, Somewhat, but at the end of the day, you want to please the fans. You want to give the fans what they want to see. And that was my number one priority. I wanted to say that once these fans are in the seat, that I want to put on a show for them. As an organization, you want the fans to be proud to come to the game and have, someone to cheer for. And I think right now Justin is just a fan favorite. When you watch the games, and sad to say, when the other quarterback get in, even if they throw a pass and it's not their fault, the receiver dropped the ball, the quarterbacks are getting booed because they're letting the organization know that we want fifth. And I think that he has shown that, of course it's preseason, but I like what I see. So I think a guy like that at a young age, which is a rookie, you go ahead and start him out. That way, I don't like to play football when it's a battle between me and another guy. Because now you get concerns of if I make a mistake, they're gonna pull me. I don't want to play where I know if I make a mistake, I'm gonna get snatched. And if they play this role of, okay, we're gonna wait to week 3 or 4 to put you in the game, and then now he's playing. if I make a mistake, I'm gonna get pulled. You're really not gonna see the true talent. So I would say you start with him and let him just play. And if he make his mistakes early, let him learn early. So by the time we get mid-season, we'll see where we at, and we'll see what type of player we have. If you draft the number one draft, your number one pick as a quarterback, give him a shot, man.
Well, I love it, Devin. Getting me more inspired and hopefully see Justin on that field sooner rather than later. Nick, any other questions for Devin, whether about his football career, retirement, the Bears this season before we get to, I know there's some things that Devin wants to make sure to share with our listeners here to kind of wrap things up.
Yeah, just one last thing here, Devin. What do you miss most about playing football? Is it being that lone man when you're a punt returner, kick returner, all eyes are on you, and like you were kind of saying earlier, like they fear you? Like, what is it that you miss most about playing football?
I just miss the fans, to be honest. I miss the fans and my teammates. The fans, of course, because for some reason I always grew up playing all my sports, like ever since high school to college, as one of the fan favorites, and from college where I would go out there at punt return and the whole stadium would just be yelling, Hester, Hester. Like, that's what I love. That's what gave me more passion for the game. And when I got to Chicago, when I go out there and I'm getting ready to receive the punt return, and all I do is lift up my hands and the whole damn stadium go crazy. You just don't know how that feels. It's really giving me chills now, to say that. So that's what I miss about the game. You know what I mean? Being able to have a guy come to the game with a Devin Hester jersey on, saying, I'm finna drink 3 or 4 beers, and as soon as Hester get ready for a punt return, I'm finna go crazy. That's what brought me joy and gave me the passion and stuff that I love, and that's what I miss from the game.
Hey, we miss you too, man. Mason, any last call for you, and any questions for Devin?
I was talking to a patient that I had today, and I mentioned, man, I'm going to get to talk to Devin Hester, and he was like, you got to ask him. Does he still have that Impala with the Louis Vuitton lining? So I had to ask that. You still got that sitting somewhere?
Nah, I kind of grew out of that. That was a young Devin Hester. I got a 77 Seville right now, so I keep old school now. So I got a 1970 Chevelle.
All right,
Very
Devin.
nice,
So
nice.
I know that you have an event coming up here this Saturday, September 10th,
Right.
at the Club Hawthorne Crestwood PointsBet Sportsbook on Rivercrest Drive from 1 to 2 p.m., where you're going to have a Q&A session, a photo opportunity. Do you want to talk more about that event? And I believe Lance Briggs is going to be there a little bit after you as well.
Okay, so yeah, this Saturday, I will be there. It's a Q&A, and it's open to the fans for photo ops. So fans will have an opportunity to take a picture with me. And this is my second year with PointsBet. It's a great betting site. It's probably the fastest betting site that I ever, participated in. The reason why I think they're so good because they have multiple bets where, the more you bet, the more you win. So it gives you a better opportunity to win. I think it's almost like cheating when you bet, and if you just lose and you keep betting until you win, pretty much. And of course, it's one of the fastest betting site where you can sit there and bet, and your bet come up instantly. Other than that, I feel that the reason why I really joined joined these guys was because of the speed of the betting. Like I say, when you're betting on these other sites. It could take a while. You could miss a bet. You know what I mean? If you try to put it in at last minute. But these right here, they have in-house technology. So it's so easy to get a bet at the last minute, and you're able to make the bets.
That's right. Thanks to the PointsBet in-house tech, the PointsBet app is personalized for the Chicago and Illinois sports fan. So definitely it's really good stuff there. So if you're in the area, definitely go meet Devin. Stay around for Lance Briggs. Again, that is going to be at the Club Hawthorne Crestwood PointsBet Sportsbook on Rivercrest Drive, 1 to 2 p.m. this Saturday, September 10th. So, Devin, I just have one final question here for you, and then we're going to let you get to your fantasy drafts.
Okay,
I just
no
want to
problem.
know, what do you want to be remembered about for your time in Chicago? What do you want that legacy to be? If it's, just a sentence or a couple of words, once more time passed, what do you want that Devin Hester Chicago legacy to be remembered as?
I would say the Windy City Flyer ridiculous player.
Love it.
Love it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
without a doubt. So on a less serious note, who you eyeing in your first round for your fantasy drafts?
I've been looking at the fantasy draft. I hope some of the guys that I'm drafting with not listening to this, but this draft is full of receivers. So I think I'm going to shy away from receivers in the first, at least the first 3 picks. I'm gonna shy away from the receivers, and probably go with a back and a quarterback, and I'm gonna try to get a good tight end. I think right now, from looking at the list, like the top 25, 30 receivers right now capable of being the leader right now. So it's ton of receivers out there. So I think my first pick would be a back. I think my second one would probably be another back because the quarterbacks right now, you can draft one in the third, fourth round and not miss a beat. So I think my first two gonna be 2 running backs and then a tight end.
Like it. Devin Hester throwing some fantasy strategy at us to kind of wrap up this interview, but I think that does it. Thanks again for your time, but more importantly, thanks for all the amazing memories that you instilled into me, and I'm sure Nick and Mason, you guys feel the same, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, like, I can't even explain like how you helped sculpt me as a football player and what I did. So, I started doing the hand wave when I did my kicking punt in high school, and I actually in shop class made a little belt buckle with you high step. And like, honestly, dude, like, thank you so much for all you did for Chicago. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Mason.
Well, that's it for this episode, Bears fans. I hope that you enjoyed that interview with Devin Hester. Up next is going to be our first game preview of the year. Bears, Rams. What do the Bears need to do in order to pull out a victory here in week 1? It's going to be a tough task, but there are some paths to victory here for this team. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more next time. But until then, bear down, Chicago.